Hello guys, today's story is 3 Patient Knocks at My Door. I still do not know what I saw that night. I only know it looked like someone had tried to build a person out of a person, and whatever they built was not alive in the way we are alive. I used to pile through r/nosleep for entertainment. I would read a story, roll my eyes, and move on. I never expected to end up writing one of my own. I live alone in a small 3rd-floor apartment building that smells like old carpet and fried onions. It is the kind of place where the pipes announce themselves at 2 in the morning, and the light in the stairwell blinks as if deciding whether to bother. The neighbors keep their doors shut and their curtains closed, and that was how I liked it. One October night, I fell asleep on the couch, watching something that made antelopes look majestic. I woke to a soft knocking. Then 3 precise knocks again. My first thought was a drunk delivery guy, but it was 2 in the morning. I did not answer. The knocks repeated, patient, like someone counting. I checked the peephole. The hallway was empty. The far light flickered slowly, not from motion, but like someone was standing between its bulb and the sensor. My phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Keller, the old woman upstairs, said, "Do not open your door." I heard it too. "Stay inside." Her next message was shorter. "Do not speak." Something slid across the carpet outside my door. Not footsteps, a soft dragging, as if canvas or clothing was being pulled flat. Then the voice. It said, "Help me." It sounded like Mrs. Keller. It sounded like the way her voice had been the 2 times she asked me to pass her parcel. But there was something wrong with how it said it. The vowels came out wrong, too round, like someone playing a voice on repeat and slowing it down a little too much. I covered my mouth with my hand because any noise felt dangerous. The thing did not try to force the lock. It scratched the wood slowly, then stopped. For a long time, nothing happened. The silence was heavy enough to hear the water heater clicking. I called the police and they came. They made polite faces and fumbled with flashlights. They checked the building, they checked the stairwell, they knocked on doors. Mrs. Keller opened hers wrapped in a robe and said she had heard something too. She said she was fine. The officers left with a shrug and a warning that the building had old wiring and things like that. They left. I locked my door and sat on the couch with every light on. I told myself to sleep. I told myself the voice was a prank. Maybe a neighbor with a bad sense of humor. Maybe a drunk. I kept replaying the cadence of those words. "Help me, help me." The phrase echoed in the hollow place behind my ribs. Later, after the sun had started to lift some gray into the sky, something moved outside my window. I looked and saw a dark shape standing in the stairwell, near the laundry room. It was small, like a child, but not a child. It did not move so much as inhabit the space, leaning in a way humans lean when they try to listen better. I opened my balcony door an inch. The smell hit me like a physical thing. It smelled like Mrs. Keller's perfume, the cheap floral one she always wore, mixed with the clean chemical scent of a hospital. There was a faint metallic undernote. I gagged. I am ashamed to admit I vomited in the sink and then washed my face because the thing inside me was equal parts curiosity and terror. When I peered down the stairwell, the thing turned its head. It had hair stitched into a cap. I thought briefly that was impossible. Then I saw what looked like clothes patched together in a hurry. A cardigan with one sleeve the wrong color. Up close, its face was a suggestion of a face. Nothing like the smooth detail of a living person, but close enough to be dreadful. There were seams at the jawline and a line of small repairs along one cheek. Its mouth opened with a jerk, and it said, "Thank you," in a voice that might have been a whisper of 100 recorded thanks, layered over each other. It did not move like a human. It moved like an actor, trying to remember someone else's mannerisms. But there were human rhythms in it. I noticed a faint rise and fall at the neck, like breathing. I heard, if I listened very close, a slow shudder like a pulse. It was enough to make me believe that something human had been used to make it. I called Mrs. Keller on my cell. Her number went straight to voicemail. I texted a single sentence, "Are you okay?" Her reply came in 3 minutes. There was only one word, "No." I don't know what I expected, but when the thing on the stairs began to climb them, I panicked in a way that felt older than fear. It moved with sudden, jerky efficiency that would have been comic if it were not so scary. It did not walk on the balls of its feet. It migrates, I thought, because the way it shifted weight felt like puzzle pieces being adjusted. It reached my door and paused. Then it knocked. 3 precise knocks. It whispered my name. My name leaked out as if it had been reading a sticky note. It said it in a voice threaded through with someone else's laugh, someone I could have known. I could have opened, I suppose. I could have unlocked the door and ripped it open and thrown myself out, screamed until someone came. Instead, I sat there and watched the shadow pool at the bottom of the door like a spill. It tried to speak like a neighbor, like a woman, like anyone. It tried to apologize, to ask for help, to confess a secret. It learned words and used them one after another until they were no longer words, but a texture. I realized then that whatever it was had been made to copy. It copied speech, gestures, the scraping of a shoe against carpet. It copied because it did not understand. Once, in a voice that sounded like it had been sewn from several old voicemails, it said I needed to be built right. I understood the sentence and also did not. It sounded like a repair shop phrase and a prayer. When it finally left, it did not leave by walking down the hall. It folded itself small and slid under my door, as if the building were the sort of place a person could be flattened and carried like a coat. When the light changed in the hall, its shadow pulled away and the carpet was clean where it had been. I reported it. I called the police again. They came and took reports. They listened to my voice get smaller at the end of sentences and wrote down my words with polite, blank faces. They walked the halls with flashlights. No one found footprints that could not be explained. The officers told me to get a security camera. They told me to sleep at a friend's place. They warned me about how the city gets strange things in old buildings. I moved out 2 days later. I did not pack much. I left a handful of things behind and a note on the door that said, "Please check on Mrs. Keller." I drove without turning on the radio, and I did not look in the rearview mirror. 2 weeks after I left, I saw a video someone posted online from a different city. It was a shaky clip of a shadow in a laundromat that twisted like someone trying to wear too many coats at once. The comments were full of jokes and speculation. Someone said it looked like a costume. Someone else said it was an artist. In the end, what keeps me awake is not the memory of the thing itself. It is the idea that something could be assembled out of people and not be a person. It is the thought that whatever built it wanted it to look human enough to be trusted and not human enough to be mistaken for one. If you ever hear 3 patient knocks at 2 in the morning, please do not open the door. And if you hear a voice that sounds familiar, remember that imitation is not the same as life. Thank you for following our story today. If you want to see more, please like and subscribe.